Hi, everyone, and welcome to Study English with Frank. That's right, I said Study English with Frank. And that's because I wanted to let you know about a new channel that we have started here at YouTube, where we will be posting all of my English-only lessons. You know, TK has now over 400 videos posted on our channel. And we are finding that some of our students are having a difficult time finding the English-only lessons for them to practice. And so we have decided to start another channel where we will post all of the lessons where I am doing the teaching and where I will post my vocabulary drills for those days where you just want to practice saying the words. And so I want to invite you to come and visit our new channel. To make that easy, I'm going to put a link right below this video in the description box. I'm going to put a link that you can just click on the link and it'll take you to our new channel. And that way you can check it out. And if you like what you see, we want to invite you to subscribe. I would just love it if you would subscribe to the channel and help us get this new channel off the ground. We have a goal of getting at least 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. And so I thank you all for clicking on that link and subscribing to help us reach our goal. At first, we will post my new lessons on both channels, but after a while, we'll probably just upload my lessons, the ones I do in English only, to the new channel. And so if you want to make sure and see those, you do need to get over there and subscribe. And that way, once you're subscribed, you will be able to see them showing up in your YouTube feed every time you go onto the YouTube channel. Today, we are starting a series on English grammar. In our first lesson, we are going to start with the basics. We're going to learn about the four main items that are found in the simple English sentence. We're going to learn about the subject, the verb, the noun, and the object. What do these four things mean? Let's find out. When you are first learning English, people will be very understanding and forgiving if you are not able to form your sentences in proper English. You might say something like, "Go mall." It's not proper English, but your friends will know that you're just learning and they will understand what you're asking. They'll put it together in their mind and they'll know that you're asking, "Do you want to go to the mall?" Even if you're just saying, "Go mall." But after you have lived in an English-speaking country for a while, it's a good idea to learn how to form your sentences in a more proper way. You might instead learn how to say, "Would you like to go to the mall?" Or, "Could you go with me to the mall today?" Or, "Can you meet me at the mall at noon?" When you can start forming sentences like that, then you are well on your way to becoming fluent in English. And I believe that's your goal. You want to become fluent in English. To help you get there fast, it is important to learn some basic rules of proper sentence structure in English. If you don't know the rules, you might learn all of the right words, but not be able to put them together in the right way. For example, you might say to your friend, "Can she meets me in noon over the mall?" Your friend is hearing a lot of the right words, but they might have a difficult time understanding just exactly what you are asking. So we are here to help you with that. Today, we will learn the basics about sentence structure in English. Simple sentence structure. Every sentence in English includes at least two parts. There's always a subject and a verb. What is a subject? A subject is the person or thing that is either doing something in the sentence or is being described in the sentence. What is a verb? A verb is an action word. It describes or states what action the subject does or is doing. If a sentence does not have both a verb and a subject, then it is not really a complete sentence. If you said to your friend, "Went to the mall," that would be an incomplete sentence. It has a verb, went, but it has no subject. We don't know who went to the mall. You might be saying in your mind to your friend, "I went to the mall," but your friend doesn't know that if you just say, "went to the mall," because it doesn't have a subject. We don't know who went to the mall. To make it a more complete sentence, we need to add a subject. We might say, "Mary went to the mall." Now that's a complete sentence. If all you said was, "Mary, mall," that would be an incomplete sentence too, because there's no verb. We now have a subject, but we don't have a verb. So we don't know what Mary did at the mall. There's no verb. We don't know how to connect Mary with the mall. Did she go to the mall? How did she go to the mall? When did she go to the mall? What did she do at the mall? Is she lost at the mall? So many questions can arise in your mind when someone speaks a sentence that is not complete. What exactly are you trying to say? Mary, mall. But if you add a verb, the sentence becomes complete, and you will have communicated a complete idea, a complete thought. Mary went to the mall. That is a complete, simple sentence in English that has a subject and a verb. Which is the subject? Mary is the subject. What is the verb? Went. Went is the verb. Mary went. In fact, just those two words alone, Mary went, could be considered a sentence by themselves. Mary went. But of course, to make your idea more clear, you're probably going to want to add some more words. If you don't, your friend is probably going to ask you for some more information. Just give me a few more details. Mary Mall, or Mary went? Mary went where? Where did Mary go? Why did she go? And so you might as well go ahead and put some of that information in your sentence right up front. Mary went to the mall. The next English grammar term that we should learn is noun. What is a noun? A noun is any word that names a person, place, a thing, or an idea. Now, there are two types of nouns. There are proper nouns and common nouns. And you should know the difference between the two. A proper noun and a common noun. Proper nouns name a specific person, place, or thing. And when you write it out, we always capitalize the first letter of the noun. The proper noun is always capitalized. When we write about Mary, we would always capitalize Mary. Mary is a specific person. She's a proper noun, and so we always capitalize her name. When we write about a place, a specific place that has a name, like the Grand Canyon in the United States, we don't write Grand Canyon, all lowercase. We capitalize the G in the Grand and C of the canyon because it's a proper noun. It is a specific place with a name. And so we write Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon is not in the United States, lowercase. It is in the United States because the United States is a country, a specific country. And so it is a proper noun. And when we're writing it out, we always capitalize the proper noun. Common nouns name things, persons, or places that are not specific. In our sentence that we've been talking about, we have an example of a proper noun and a common noun. Mary is a proper noun. Mary is a specific, a real person. And so we capitalize this noun even if Mary is not at the beginning of the sentence. Of course, you know that in English, the beginning of every sentence is capitalized. Well, what if Mary is not at the beginning of the sentence? Do we capitalize Mary? Yes, because Mary is a proper noun. She's a specific person. If the sentence was, for example, yesterday, Mary went to the mall, Mary would still be capitalized because Mary is a specific person. Mary is a proper noun. What is the common noun in this sentence? That's right, it is mall. The mall is a place, but it is not specific. It's just one of many malls, and the mall is not its name. And so, in our sentence, we don't capitalize mall. It is a common noun. If the mall that Mary went to was actually called the mall, I think I've seen places like that. I've visited malls like that. They just name it the mall. Then that would be different. We would want to capitalize that because that's its real name. But because it's just one of many malls, we don't capitalize. Now, how could all of that change? Well, if we said that Mary went to a specific mall and used the name of that mall in our sentence, then it would become a proper noun. If we were to say, Mary went to the Riverside Mall, Riverside Mall would be a specific mall with a name and would become a proper noun. And if we were writing it out, we would capitalize it. If we were to say, instead of Mary went to the mall, if we were to say the girl went to the Riverside Mall, girl would become a common noun because by using girl instead of Mary, we have not named a specific person. And so it becomes a common noun, and we wouldn't capitalize it if we were writing it out. There's one more grammar term that I want to talk about in this lesson, and that is the object. Do you know what an object is? Especially when we're talking about the English sentence structure. What is an object? It can become a little bit confusing, I know, for people especially who are learning English to have all of these different terms. But if you take the extra effort to learn these terms, then as we go further in our lessons, you will know what we're talking about when we talk about nouns and verbs and objects and subjects. And it'll make it easier for you to learn as we go along if you learn these simple terms. A general rule for finding which words in a sentence might be the object is to look for something that is having the action done to it. Find the verb, find out what action word that verb is talking about, then look for an object or something or someone that action word is happening to, and then you'll have the object. The subject is usually the one doing the action. The object is the one that is having the action done to it. If we said Mary rode her bike to the mall, what would be the object? That's right. The bike would be the object. Mary is the subject, and rode is the verb, and bike is the object. Now, not to make this too confusing, but Mary is not only the subject, she's also a noun, and she's a proper noun. She's a specific person. Rode is the verb. Bike is the object. It's also a noun, a common noun. We don't capitalize it. It's not a specific bike. I suppose if Mary has named her bike, let's not go there. Bike, it's a common noun, and mall. is a common noun. Now, those aren't the only words in that sentence, and you should know that all of those other words also have names, but we're not going to go there today. We're just going to learn these four. What are they again? Subject, verb, a noun, and an object. See, only four. Easy to learn. Subject, verb, noun, and an object. Perhaps we should review them. Subject. A subject is the person or thing that is either doing something in the sentence or is being described in the sentence. A verb is an action word. It describes or states what action the subject does. A noun is any word that names a person, place, thing, or idea. An object is the person, place, or thing that the action word, the verb, is acting on. Let's think about our sentence again. Mary rode her bike. What is the subject of this sentence? Yes, Mary is the subject. What action did Mary do? She rode. Rode is the verb. What did Mary do her action to? She did it to her bike. She rode her bike. And so bike is the object. When we started this lesson, we made a statement that says all sentences must have a subject and a verb, or it is not a complete sentence. And that is true almost all of the time. That is kind of like a rule in English grammar. But there's something that you need to know about rules, and that is just that. They're rules. They are important to know and follow because it will help you be right almost all of the time. But you know, there is a funny thing about rules that you should know about. And this is true not just in learning English, but in almost everything in life. Rules have been set up to guide us in a way that we should go and do and act and talk. But there's almost always an exception to the rule, or exceptions, maybe, more than one, to the rule. And it's helpful to know what these exceptions are so that you can be ready for them when you need them, or when you need to understand what's going on. All sentences must have a subject and a verb to be a complete sentence. That is the rule. Do you know what the exception is to this rule? There is one. It is called the imperative or the command. And it's just one word. It's the verb and has no subject. Let's think of an example. If I'm riding in a car, I'm in the passenger seat, the driver is beside me, and they're talking to me. I'm looking out the window, and I see up ahead a child is stepping out into the street. I'm likely to just blurt out, "Stop!" There's no time to form a more complete sentence. I wouldn't say, Jerry, I see up ahead that there's a child that has stepped out into the street. I think it would be a good idea to step on the brakes now. No, there's just no time for that. I'm just going to shout out, "Stop!" And that one-word command is considered in English a complete sentence, even though it doesn't have a subject. And so there's always an exception to the rules. Or perhaps we should say there's almost always an exception to the rule. All right, well, that is our lesson for today, the 4 basic components of a simple English sentence. No matter what language you are coming from, you probably have many of these same basic principles and rules in your language, and so these should be very familiar to you. But it is a good thing to learn the English words for the rules that you might already know, and that way, as we study together and I talk about these terms, the subject, the verb, the noun, the object, you'll know what I'm referring to. So it's a good idea to learn these 4 terms that we've studied today so that you'll be ready to learn from our more advanced lessons. I hope that you enjoyed this first lesson on English grammar. To continue our study, it would be a good idea for you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. And there's a little bell there that if you click on that as well, YouTube will be sure to let you know each time I release a new lesson so that you'll be able to find it. Oftentimes there's so many things, so many videos being uploaded to YouTube every day that unless you're subscribed or you've hit that bell, you might never see the next lesson in this series, and you'd lose out on the progression that we're going to be studying here over the next few months as we do a whole series on grammar in English. Well, that's it for today. So excited to see you here, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time here at Study English with Frank.